Hi guys, you're welcome back to my channel. So guys, today we'll be making this beautiful colorful floral dress. This dress is so beautiful. Like, I feel like making for myself. It's so fine. Just look at, see how fine this dress is. Guys, please, if you're new to my channel, kindly subscribe to my channel and turn on notification bell. All right, so let's get started. Okay guys, so to begin with, this is the fabric we're going to be using for this dress. It's a floral pattern fabric. Okay, so it's just basically I folded it into two, as you can see, and then I went ahead, I folded it again, making it 4 folds, just as you can see in the video. And then I'm going ahead right now to just impute the shoulder measurement. We are making the upper part first, that is the half length, before we go down. And then the armhole I'm using for this is around 5 inches. Okay, I'm just using that line as my armhole, and then I'm going to connect this armhole straight up to the shoulder, just as you can see me doing, guys. Alright, just connected it to my shoulder, just as I just did, and then I'll put the waist measurement. Alright, 6 inches, that is the waist I'm using, and then I will use the remaining fabric there as my allowance. I'll just use the entire fabric as my allowance, and then I'll just go ahead to connect from the armhole straight down to the waist, just as you can see me doing. The half length I use is 9 inches, and then I just curved in the armhole just like you saw. And then for the neckline, I use 3 inches wide and then 3 inches long, just as you can see me marking. And then I'm curving in the neckline. I'm using the back and the neck as the same length, and then I just slanted the armhole, just as you can see. And then of course, going in with my scissors, I'm just cutting it out. The front and the back neckline is going to be the same. That is why I'm cutting the two fabric at the same time. Okay, so I'm just trying to pin it down because this fabric really stressed me. It's a very stressful fabric. Please weave it very well. If you have a weaving machine, it will help you. Okay, so let's open it up so that you see what we have cut. See what we have cut, guys. This is it. So for the back, I want it to have a little opening because I don't want the child to struggle wearing it since it doesn't have a zipper. Okay, so I just went ahead by 1.5 inches, but I later deepened it to about 3 inches. I later added more so that I didn't want the child to stress while wearing it. Okay, so this is it. I put a little strip of fabric at the back so that I will use it to turn it. This is the fabric I use, so I'll use it to turn it on the machine. And for the sleeve, guys, this is what we're using for the sleeve. The same fabric. Okay, this is for the two sleeve, the same length and the same width of fabric. I forgot to measure to show you guys the length and the width of this fabric. So guys, I'm just marking for the arm. I'm just marking 3 inches, guys. You can even do 2.5 inches. I ended up having excess. All right, so I'll just curve it in, just as you can see me, my armhole curve. I'm curving it in like so, guys. And then I want to be sure that it will be enough for the round arm of the child. I have 5 inches there. Okay, and then I have even allowance, extra 1 inch there for allowance, so it's just perfect for what I want to use it for. And then for the wrist, I just mark the wrist, and then I'm adding 1 inch allowance, and then I'll connect it to the upper part. It's a long sleeve. I will connect it to the upper part, just as you can see me connecting, guys. And then of course I went with my scissors. You can see the child is even there. I went with my scissors, and then I'm trying to cut it out, and then I'm notching it so that I will know the center of the sleeve. And I'm taking off the pins, of course, just as you can see me doing. So this is what we have. All right, then for the down part, the garter, the side that has the garter, this is the fabric I'm using. It is 14 inches long, and then is it long? Yes, it's 14 inches long. The length is 14 inches. So let's look at this length for the gathers is 27 inches. Okay, for the gathers is 27 inches. So I'm here on my machine now. I'm trying to turn the back. The back has some sort of an opening, so we need to finish it properly. Okay, so you can go ahead and weave this part before you sew it. I'm just trying to notch it open, okay, because it's not a straight line per se, so that it will be able, I'll be able to turn it with ease. So after notching it, I'm opening it, I'm turning it in, as you can see me doing, and I'm done turning it in. See what the backs look like. So we'll just use hook and eye and hold the back. So to turn the back neckline, I'm going to use a strip of fabric. It's 1.5 inches wide. The length is the length of your neckline. So I'll just go into my machine, just as you can see me doing. I'll sew it, I'll just sew it on my machine like so. I'll also sew the second part because it's divided into two because of the opening at the back. So I'm also sewing the second strip for the neckline at the back, just as you can see me doing on the machine. So I'm done sewing it, guys. I'm just basically turning it in. This is like piping. I'm just trying to pipe the neckline so that it will be neat. You can actually use bias strip, but I love using the color of fabric I'm working with so that everything will just be matching. Okay, so this is, you see how beautiful it is. I've not ironed it and it's looking this perfect. Imagine when I've ironed it. So for the other part, the front neckline, I'll also go ahead and I'll turn it with this strip of fabric you're seeing. So I'm basically just repeating what I did for the back, for the front here. That is what I'm doing. I'm trying to turn it in with this piece of fabric. That is just what I am trying to do here. The same thing you do for the back, you do for the front, okay? So I'm trying to notch this one so that it will be able to balance very well. So you can also do that for the back one. I did not record that part, okay? So I'm trying to pipe it now just to turn it in the same way you turn your bias tape. That is how you're going to turn this one. So you go ahead now and join the two shoulders. I'm joining the two shoulders together now. That's what I want to do on my machine. I'm trying to align the shoulders before I put it on my machine, and then I will sew it just as you can see me sewing right now. I'm sewing the two shoulders together, guys. So I'm also sewing the second shoulder just as you can see. So guys, I'm done sewing it. I'm just trying to remove trim out the excess fabric I have there. So you see how beautiful it's looking, guys. So perfect, so beautiful. So the next thing we want to do right now is just to sew in our sleeve. I told you guys my sleeve ended up becoming very wide, so I had excess. I had to start trimming it off. That was why I said 2.5 inches is even enough for a child, okay? So of course it's better you have excess than you have too much and you begin to run hekata sakata. So guys, I'm just basically trying to sew it on the top, the upper bodies. That's what I'm trying to do. So I'm trying to sew in the sleeve. After sewing the sleeve, then we'll move to the next adventure, guys. So I'm done. This is a strip of fabric we're going to be using for the gathers that is on the upper part of the dress. Okay, it's 27 inches long. The width depends on you. So I'm just trying to fold in the upper part, just as you can see me doing. I'm trying to fold it in so that it to be finished properly. That's what I'm doing here. I folded it into two and then I folded it again just for it to be neat at the upper part, because that place will be visible. And then I'm trying to fold one side of the strip, the side that will be visible to the public. So I'm trying to fold it. So if you have a weaving machine, you can interlock it very neatly. You don't need to do this folding I'm doing right now, but this is still very beautiful. Okay, so that is basically what I'm doing. I'm just taking my time out of my busy schedule to just do this, guys. Just take your time and do this. So that is what I'm doing, basically just folding till I get to the hem. And of course, when I finish doing this strip, I'll do the second strip. Whatever you do for the number one, you do for number two. Okay, so I'm just going ahead right now to run a gather stitch because we're going to have gathers there. So I'm just running, after folding it, I'm just running this very long loose gather stitches on it. Okay, so that I will be able to come out very beautiful by the time we're done. So I'm just dragging it to form my gathers. I'm just dragging it. That is basically how to do the gathers. If you don't have the gathers foot, You can, as a beginner, you don't need all the tools. You can use your hand to do what you want to do. I'm just basically dragging it carefully. Please do this carefully. You can drag the under thread or the upper thread, any of the thread you want, just drag it. So you form that your gathers. Okay, so oh yeah, see how beautiful our gathers are, looking like spiral. Okay, so it's so beautiful. So it's time for us to attach it to the shoulder. Of course, it's on the shoulder, so I'm just basically attaching it on the shoulder, just like so. I'm attaching it, sewing it from shoulder to the end of the half length. Okay, so after doing this, we'll move on to the next step. All right, this is actually a fun project. Yeah, I'm actually top stitching it. After attaching it to the shoulder, you turn it the other way and top stitch on top, sew on top, so that it will relax perfectly and they will not be seeing that your rough stitches inside, especially because my own, I did not weave it before sewing it, so it won't be nice. Oh, beautiful. See how nice it is, guys. So for this particular one, this one is for the gathers under. Yeah, that gather that is under, this is this. I'm just trying to run a gather stitches on it before I will also drag it and form my gather stitches, and then we'll sew it. So this one is two pieces, one for the back and the other for the front, sorry. So this is it. After I'm done dragging the gathers, this is how beautiful it is. So this I did for the front, I'm also doing for the back. I'm generous enough to show you guys both the back and the front. So the first one is for the back, this one is for the front, or whichever one, they are the same thing anyways. So right now what I'm doing is just to sew it on our upper bodies. Shikina, I'm just trying to sew that gathers on our upper bodies. I told you guys it's very, very simple tutorial. You don't need to wahala yourself, you don't need to give yourself any trouble. Just go ahead and sew it with some cool music and you're good to go. Okay, so wow, see how beautiful it is after I've attached the gathers to the upper bodies. Is so wow, like this fabric is giving everything vibe, like it's just giving every good energy. Okay, so now this is it for our elastic. If you have weaving interlocking machine, just interlock it and sew it directly. You don't need to fold it. See how I folded it? You don't need to fold it if you interlock it, but because this fabric is not so wonderful, so I had to fold it, and then I just stitched it there. I stitched it down before I'll begin sewing. I stitched it at the other side at the beginning. I held the elastic down to the fabric so that by the time I finish sewing, the elastic will not run away. So you have to hold it down, okay, so that it will not run away. So I held it down with a stitch, and then I'm just folding the fabric. See what I'm doing? But if you interlocks your fabric, you don't need to fold it in the way I'm folding it in. Okay, you just go ahead and just sew it straight. All right, so I'm just sewing it down. After sewing it, I'll bring it out, and then I'll cut out the excess thread. Please don't cut your elastic like me. Just drag it like this first of all before you cut out the elastic, so that you'll be sure of what you're working with, so that you won't go and cut it and it will end up being too short. It will not now size the child's wrist. Okay, so make sure you get the measurement of the child. Like this is, I needed 4 inches here, so make sure you get your 4 inches before you cut your elastic. Ta-da! So what I'm doing basically now is just to shape the dress from the wrist where I attach the elastic down to the hem of the dress. I'm going to do this for this part, and I'm doing it for the left hand side. This is the right hand, then just do it for both sides. Shape it with either half an inch or 1 inch. You know the amount of allowance you left for the dress, so just do it. And before you finish shaping it, don't forget this particular dress, if your own has rope like my own, please don't forget to insert the rope on the waist. You see where I'm attaching the rope back on the waist of the dress, and then you cover it back and you begin to shape. You run your stitch on top that rope, making sure the rope is inside the front side of the dress. So you just keep shaping it the way I am shaping it now. It's very, very simple, very, very easy to make. Okay, so easy. Oh my goodness, so beautiful. This dress is giving so much vibe. Oh, it's like I'm going to, maybe I'll make it for myself. Oh, it's so fine. Yes, let me not forget, I'm done with the dress. I'm just basically hemming the down part. That's all. Just hemming the down part, hemming it, hemming it, hemming it, hemming. Oh my God! See clothes now. How person want to get talent past this word? If you're here and you have not subscribed to my channel, you're not doing me good and you're not doing yourself good. Please quickly hit the subscribe button and turn on notification bell. All right, I will see you in my next video. Bye.